Good morning. So, it's sunny this morning. I'm going to introduce you to another car this morning, which was I bought last September, I think. September 24. Can you guess what it is yet? So, it's a dream car. Or it certainly is for me, and quite a lot of other people like it. I've never had a car that attracts so much attention. Just you pull up at the petrol station, people come and talk to you about it. Wherever you go with this car, people just can't help but come and have a chat about it, or have a look at it, or take a photo of it, or whatever. So, can you guess what it is yet? Sorry, the light's not really good in the shed here, but let's have a look at what this is. So hopefully you can see the front end there. I can't see a lot for the sun, to be fair. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Oh, that's better. I'm sure you can tell what it is from there. So this is Lucy. This is Lucy, the S3 Lotus Esprit. And I was lucky enough to come across Lucy on Facebook Marketplace. And she was for sale up in Dundee, and just right time, right place. Had a bit of an adventure going up to have a look at it. Interesting bit of history on it, but loads of paperwork. She's no concourse machine, but she's got a nice set of wheels on, turbo wheels. Because this isn't the turbo, obviously, this is the 2.2 naturally aspirated, but the effect is pretty much the same. So we've had a bit of a problem with it discharging the battery. Had it in and had a few little jobs done on it before Christmas, but anyway, it's ruined two batteries already. So we've obviously got a problem somewhere. So it's going to see Dr. Ketley this morning. So we'll get the battery on it, we'll get her out, and we'll get to Mr. Ketley. Right, so we've fitted the new battery, which I got from Tainer. So I like their website. You can sort of size up your battery and get what you want. And there it is. So it's a Varta battery, but it's a traction battery, or a leisure battery actually. So I like to put leisure batteries in the cars that don't go out all that often, even though I try and keep them all running, because if there is a drain or whatever, then they stand, bin, run dead flat and back up again, which ordinary car batteries don't like. So we'll see if she'll see if we can get her started up. So we'll shut the bonnet or the boot, depending on what you like to call it, and we'll alight in the rather fabulous, not that you'll be able to see much of it at the moment, but the superb red leather interior. Well, red, and there's a little bit of suede-y Alcantara stuff. She's a bit dirty, and it could do with a bit of a clean out, to be fair, but I do like all my motors usable, which does mean I tend to take them to places where it's and take them out on days when it's maybe not just as ideal as it could be. However, we've got ignition lights, I can hear the fuel pump. That's a good start. The window's down, that's a bit strange, but anyway, let's see if she'll go. If it's not been started for a while, this is quite normal. Here we go. Nearly. We're away. Oh, nearly away. And you can even hear it through the open window. That's maybe why I left it open. Right, we'll get around to the sunshine. Oh. little bit of a wash before we go too far. Out into the sunlight. Deserves a swell off, but now you can start to see the glory of the interior. Let's just get around the yard. It's a lovely spring morning and the sun is shining, and so what we'll do is we'll give her a little swell off, and then we'll take her to see Dr. Ketley. So the quick swell with the hose, bit of traffic film remover, and just give her a bit of a spring in her step. And I'm going to have to cut you off now because this is quite difficult with one hand. Quick swell off, and as you can see, she presents quite well, I think. Well, I like it. There's a few imperfections that are crazing on the bumper there in the paintwork, which we'll have to do at some point maybe. Wheels are really good. I think they were done up before I got it. But yeah, it looks a tidy thing. And it's got my most favourite interior on a car, red. It's a bit grubby, but it's very usable, and that's what I like about it. Yeah, I like it a lot. So let's take her and get her dried off. Right, so we've got a bit of demisting going now, so hopefully off. You heard me miss a gear then. Unfortunately I've got my work boots on, and the pedal box isn't really designed for big feet, so it's a little tricky if you've got your big boots on. It's a lovely gearbox though, of Citroen origin I believe. It's what they put in the SM, I think, that 5-speed gearbox, and they turned it upside down. So it's on the back of the engine, and I think it was partly chosen because there was a very easy way to reverse the output to get the right rotation for the 5 forward speeds. And it's a sweet little gearbox, it really is, after me making a total hash of it just a moment ago. It's a lovely little gearbox, and sorry, I'm just searching. It's that bright. Okay, I'm going to find my sunglasses. There we go. And it's completely different to driving any of my other cars. So I've just got the Bentley Continental GT, and I've got a few Jags and a little Alfa and GR4 Toyota. This is like getting in a go-kart. It's very comfy, the seats are fab, even though you can't alter the backrest. You can only slide the seat forward or backward, and I have it fully back, and even then, and I'm not very long in the leg, even then it's not exactly overcome with room, and head's just sort of, I can feel my hair brushing on the ceiling or on the roof, although this one has got an aftermarket sunroof which does help slightly with the headroom, but yeah, it's a very alive driving experience, if that's the best way to put it. She's by no means the fastest car out there, not even close to. In fact, taking it in to have a look at we're going to put it on a rolling road and just check that the ignition system's working correctly, and also that the carbs are not set a bit rich, because it always starts without the choke. In fact, it won't start with the choke, and you always get that sort of slight petrol smell with it all the time. It's not using stupid amounts of fuel, doing about 25 to the gallon last year when I took it down to Goodwood Revival, and it starts when it's hot, which can be a problem with these cars sometimes, or so I've seen. But this one's no problem, and as you've seen, even when it's been stood for a while, just a bit of patience, a few turnovers, and away she pops. So, but on the ignition front, I've had a couple of instances where the rev counter has misbehaved, suddenly gone off the scale, and when it does, the engine comes alive, and then the rev counter settles back down again, and it sort of loses just the edge on performance somehow. So we're going to investigate that. We're going to investigate the thermostat and the battery drain, because I intend to take her to the Le Mans Classic in July, I think it is. There's a gang of us going down there. A mate of mine in his 911, from, I think it's 74 vintage, something like that, early-ish 911, and this, and I think there's a little Alpha going as well, one or two of the bits and pieces, might be a Mark II Jag. So I want to get these problems ironed out and give us a chance to run her around a bit and just check everything's working as it should. So I bought it last year with 73,000 miles, I think. It had done less than 1,000 miles. In fact, I'm telling you a lie, I think it was less than 100 miles between every MOT for the last 10 years. So we've now done 75,456. So we've done, I think, under 2,500 miles in it. So it was up in bought it in Dundee, drove it down from Dundee as it was. It had just been MOT'd at the time, and it also had a reconditioned water pump fitted. So that's all fine. I actually spoke to the garage that fitted the water pump just to get a view on the car before I went up to see it, and they said that they'd seen 5-year-old cars look worse underneath than this, and it is pretty tidy underneath. Helps that you've got a fiberglass body, obviously. Also helps that the chassis on these were galvanised. And the interior, I think the car's been repainted at some point in its life, but the interior seems pretty much original, and I love it. I love this red interior, and it really sets the car off. It's had at some point some red stripes on the side of the body work, and although they're not standard, I like them. They really do set the interior off when you see the two together. So, and it always causes lots of attention, does this car. It's amazing. Wherever you pull up, people start taking pictures of it. People want to talk to you about it. It's just great, and it's, as I said, the driving experience is like nothing really, unless you've done a bit of go-karting. That's about as near as it gets. there's no power steering, but the steering has loads of feel. The chassis is really sort of solid, stiff even, but you don't feel, even on these little country roads that we're on at the minute, our local roads, potholed and what have you as they are, you don't get bounced around. It's not an uncomfortable car to drive like some sports cars, and I suppose part of that's due to the fact she's not on ultra low profiles or anything. It's on traditional sort of I think they're 80 series, they might be 70s, but I think they're 80s. Yeah, it's a really good fun thing to drive, is this, on the right sort of roads. Not breathtaking on the power uptake and that, and I think it is a little bit down on power, if I'm honest, but hence the reason she's going in. But it sounds fantastic with a little 2.2 litre 4-cylinder engine that's sitting behind us. And it's a pleasure to be out in it on a day like this.